Scott from My Life's Reward here. We've got a CAN-AM 2022 650 XT, and I was out on the trail yesterday at Leota with some friends and my son Kyle, and we just about got done with the trail, and we were looking at the Muskegon River from a nice vantage point, and I would say the quad was off maybe for about 10 minutes. And then I went to go start it up. It started, but it ran very low RPMs, then it quit. And then it started again, maybe a third time, but it just wouldn't, it didn't have the normal idle RPMs. And then gradually it just didn't fire at all. So that leads me to a situation where it's not getting any fuel. And just through a little bit of research, not long, not much research anyway, I'm seeing a lot of issues regarding the fuel pump, and that the fuse may have blown, and that you might want to try looking at that. So that's what we're going to do here right now, and we'll see what happens. So I've got myself a T20 torque, and my understanding is you need to take these 4 screws out here, get the display out of the way, disconnect it, and then somewhere down in there is the fuse box for this. So we're going to see if we can find it. So let's do this together. So taking out the first the T20, I can see that somebody else has been in here before. And I'm wondering if this is the reason why the person didn't want it anymore with such low miles. I bought it with like 67 miles, and maybe this fuse just kept blowing and it was unreliable for them, and they just didn't want it anymore. And maybe that's the reason why. I can see that these screws are marked up a little bit already. Okay, so I'm just pushing down on this little snap right here. Let me show you. So I'm pushing down on this right here, and I'm tilting it forward, and then it comes right out. Well, so far I am not seeing a fuse box in there, but I see lots of wires. I think we're getting close. Maybe. We'll see. We'll keep digging here and figure this out. Now I understand there's a connector on the back here that has a little red deal. We have to slide that red thing towards the camera, and then that plug should get out of there. So I will give that a whirl. Look at those tubes. Lots of tubes coming out there, and lots of stuff going on here. Look, that's a radiator cap. Boy, they bury everything that you might need to get at this thing in the field. Huh. All right, let's keep going. All right, I'm sliding that red. I just slid that red deal. And then I think hey, you got it. All right. Put that off to the side. That out of the way. And look at this situation. What do we got here? Then after removing the display, you have to get this thing out of the way here. This plastic that's around the display. So I can't find any instructions on how to do it, so I'm just going to wing it. So I think maybe we just unsnap it here. Yeah, pulls real, okay, pulls pulls right off there. That has revealed this fuse panel right here. Just wipe that down there and we can take a look at that. So it looks like I might be interested in what? Fuel pump, F15 5 amp, injectors, got a winch, fuel pump relay R4. Okay, so I think I'm going to start here. I'm surprised it's a 5 amp and not a 10 amp. Only because online I've been seeing 10 amp on everything else, so that's interesting. But let's take a look at it. Okay, so we just press in on these little doohickeys here and just rock this baby off. Okay. All right, looks like we got a couple of 5 amp spares, a 30, a 15, and a 15 sitting in the lid. That's nice. And remember, we are looking for the fuel pump F15. So if we compare this, we're looking for that guy right there. All right, I think it's this guy right there. So I'm going to see if I can pull him out. Let's see what it looks like. Okay. And it's blown. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, you see right there, the linkage is blown out. You got it. It comes down, it goes, and then it stops. So that looks like it blew. So let's take and get a 5 amp fuse. I won't take the spare just because I want those out on the trail in case I have to do a field repair. But we're going to give ourselves a 5. And if that continues to be a problem, or maybe even preemptively, I might just get a thermal fuse and put it in there so I don't have to worry about this. But let's see, we'll check it out here. This was the 5 amp that was in there. You can see it's got 5 right there. And this is a 5 amp that I pulled from my SM11 fuse deal here. So that's a good one. That's what a good one looks like right there. See it focused. And that's what one that is blown looks like. I don't even have to put a continuity meter on that. That's blown. I can tell it's blown. So we're going to reinsert this in here. I am not going to put it all back together. I'm just going to hook the display back up so it functions properly. And I'm going to start it. So we're going to connect the display. Well, I'm going to take this connector and I'm going to put it in this spot right here. All right, I've got the display here. This is the top and this is the bottom. And I've got the connector. And this, on this right here, there's a little lock thing, or there's a little plastic tab. So that I'm going to line up with this here. Make sure the red piece is not locked. I'm going to reconnect it and lock it. And then I'm just going to lay it in there for the moment. I'm going to see that all things that vibrate are removed here. That should be good enough. And let's see if it starts. It did not start. And that 5 amp fuse is blowing as well. So I might try one more time, but that would suggest to me that the fuel pump is bad. So that's 2 5 amp fuses. So I ran out of 5 amp fuses after that one that blew. So I did go up to the store and I bought some 5 amp fuses, mini fuses, automotive fuses. So with that, I am going to put in a new fuse. Okay. And all right, we're going to give it a try. All right, we're turning it on. Okay, so we don't have anything on the display. And so that's the original out in the field fuse blown. And then I tried one from my supply and that blew, and I didn't think I had any other 5 amp fuses. I looked high and low and there wasn't any in there. So I bought 5 more, just put a new one of those in. And I've got the key on, but nothing's on until I press this green start button. So I thought I heard the fuse pop again, but it's just a relay. So being that 2 fuses popped, that'd be terribly inconvenient out in the field. Even if you had the tools and you had to take it all apart to put another 5 amp fuse in there. So I did see a video out there that somebody had put, instead of a traditional 5 amp mini blade fuse, they used a thermal fuse. It's a little taller, and I'll show you a picture of it here. Now, in his particular CAN-AM, it was a 10 amp. So I guess the fuel pump must be larger or something, whereas mine's 5 amp fuse. So I got to think I can find a 5 amp thermal fuse that I can put in there so that if it does temporarily draw more than 5 amps, it'll just cut that out so it won't do any damage to anything. And then, come back and then I can try it again, and I'm not going to, and hopefully it would start. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plan to do that. So anyway, quad is fixed. I'm going to reassemble for now. I guess I'm going to have to tear it apart once the thermal fuse comes in, but that's fine. We'll do that again. And anyway, so with that, success, and I'll show one more video to kind of close this out of everything reassembled. So with that, let's get to reassembling, and we'll close this video out for now. Two clicks on the fuse cover. All right, that's good. All right, I think you just rock that baby down in there and she's in. Well, you don't want to tighten those up too tight, you'll probably strip them out. So we want to kind of take it easy. All right. Put my plug back. All right, last test. We're back. And that is how you do that with a fuse and the fuel pump on a 2022 CAN-AM Outlander XT. And that's a wrap. So with that, thanks for stopping by the channel and checking this video out. Until next week, take care.